State University. We have head coach Craig Doty, sophomore center Mayuom Buom, and junior guard Alijah Comethier. Coach, if you would please start with opening statement.
Yeah, I thought that it was one heck of a game there for about 25, 30 minutes. We ran out of gas. It looked like a team that went through a boxing match yesterday versus Lincoln and played the back-to-back. You know, these tournaments are set up for the 1 and 2 seed, and I think it should be set up that way. In fact, I wish the GAC was set up that way so it wasn't the same way, and their number 1 seed keeps getting bounced early. It's designed for the team over the 22-game conference season to be able to rest up, and I thought we competed well, and then I felt like we kind of fell off with focus, energy, effort. Our guys were dead, and we tried. I didn't have my mama's cookies at that time, but I tried, giving the cookies approach and being really nice and asking them. Then we tried to substitute. That didn't work. So then I tried to get on them. That didn't work. And I'm just glad we closed the gap a little bit at the end of the game. But I am proud of our guys. That's a really good Bearcat team. They've won 3 national championships in a row, 3 including, and 4 of the last 5 national championships. They travel well. I loved our crowd that showed up, and unfortunately it was probably 7-1 in terms of people there, just because the Bearcat Nation, they travel so well, and they have a really, really good traveling community. So it was a battle for our guys, and I'm proud of our whole body of work. I like where we're currently sitting right now with performance index and with the RPI, and our hope is that there's more basketball, and we're going to keep a smile on our face. Well, I'm trying to get Elijah to keep a smile on his face, but I'm going to and boom. But we're hopeful that there's enough on our resume, including knocking off Northwest Bell when they were number 1 at home in white, to be able to leverage ourselves into the national tournament.
The players just kept fighting till the end. Just what does that say about your team's work ethic and just work on the floor to keep it close the entire time?
When we had a conversation with them, there was we could have tried to put a full court press on to try to get back into it. But usually when that happens, when your team is not a full court pressing team, you're going to lose by 30. And our goal was to, from an optical standpoint, to make that look a little better, as they're going to have 5-6 people sitting in a room here in a few days making a decision who's going where. You want that game to. But our guys still had to execute and perform, and they did. I mean, down the stretch, and Elijah, Mason, even Gage. I think one thing it shows is the depth of talent we have. There's not a ton difference. Obviously, our top 4 or 5 are there, but there's not a ton of difference between our 6th and our 12th man. They're all right there, I think it shows some of the depth in the program, and then the heart and character. You never know when it's going to be your last game, whether because you're not getting into another tournament or because you have an injury or whatnot. And we always try to impress upon our guys to live presence and love each other. And there's a lot of lessons that can be learned from basketball. And I think there are some that we can take from this game as well.
Northwest Bell's always suffocating on defense, but Owen doesn't score a field goal today, no 3-pointers for the team. What were they doing right defensively?
I've been a head coach for 11 years, and I've never had a team not make a 3 in a game. We've defensively stopped a team, but now we guarded them from the arc pretty darn good too, right? 3 for 12. You fans watching it, I mean, it was just a bully fest inside the lane. Obviously, nobody could make a shot. But now we had some clean looks with Caden. They're the last 2 teams, and Owen's frustrated, as you can imagine, because the game plans of the last 2 teams were just to not allow him to get catches, to face guard him, and Elijah took advantage of that. You saw that the last 2 games. But overall, when you can't get your guy going, and we tried. You saw the first possession of the second half. We got him a decently, if we can say decently, clean look on the wing. Like, we tried, and it was difficult. They were on the ball hard. Their defense was suffocating on the help side, stepping up, and it's a huge credit to them and their game plan and what they were able to do to shut down the conference's leading scorer in 22 conference games. In 22 conference games, nobody scored the ball more than Owen Long. And in both of the last 2 teams, they created their whole game plan around shutting him down. And while they did a good job, I still want to give credit to Owen too, because he didn't turn it over a ton. He had assists each of the last 2 games. He was a willing passer. And if it wasn't some of the defensive stuff and the rebounding stuff that kind of let down there, even with Owen not impacting winning through scoring, he was able to do it through different things. So I want to give him credit too for it, because you can't just look at a guy that averages 17, 18 a game and just judge him by that when teams are running doubles at him. So I'm proud of him as well for what he's done, and Alijah owes a mistake because Alijah had a lot of gaps to drive and a lot of things going on because of how they guarded him. So
this can be for everyone. How difficult is it to play with foul trouble? Getting fouls out, Owen has 4, Boom has 4.
I would say it kind of takes a step down on your aggressiveness, because they're calling all those fouls, so you got to be a little more soft when you're, doing stuff like backing players down like I do best, and you just got to watch your game, when all those foul trouble and all that, how the refs are calling it. So I feel like you just got to be really aware of how you're playing and change it up a little bit.
And you want to play smart and then play legal, and after you get maybe the first or 2 fouls in the first half, it just gives you a reminder of the way that they're calling the game and how aggressive you can be on defense. Obviously, they were calling the whistle a little tighter tonight, so we did not, we struggled with guarding legally, bodying up, showing our numbers, and then that's the rest of history.
Yeah, and I want to mention Brad Ferry, Pat Bay, and Justin Weiberg. Brad and Pat, we'll take them every night. Those are some of the best refs. They're guys that have done tons of Division I games. They're staples in this league, and Justin's an up-and-coming guy who's really solid too. So I thought it was a really well-called, officiated game. I was going to fight for our guys at certain points, of course. That's my job to do, not to lay back on some calls. But overall, it was well officiated. I was happy with how it was called. We'll look at some of the stuff that Owen kind of got out of. It was tough for Owen to get in the rhythm too because he had 3 fouls in the first half. So there are a lot of things, but we need to look in the mirror and take responsibility for those things because those are solid refs all the time. And on this huge stage right here, when they have 4 or 5,000 people wearing green screaming at them every call, I thought they stood steady and called a good, consistent game. And we're looking in the mirror 100% on this one. There was no concerns. In fact, I was very happy with the assignment of these 3 guys.
And then the obvious question: Selection Sunday tomorrow. What's your pitch?
And it is tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, when he coaches, there's a lot of things. That is tomorrow. I thought it was Friday right now. What's my pitch? The computer tells you what to do. The computer's showing us right where we need to be. We're 7th in both performance index. We're 7th in RPI, and we're exactly where we need to be. If Fort Hays wins this game, I still think we're where we need to be, but it gets a little tighter if they beat UCO right now. But I don't know. My athletic director's been on these racks before. I don't know how proactive you can be, can't be, all that. The numbers will show one thing. There's about 9 categories they look at, but then there's also humans in the room too. So there's nothing else we can do. There's nothing else we can do at this point. I love Mark Johnson at Hays. I'm not going to go out there right now and start screaming for the Tigers right now, though, I'll tell you that. So it should be a good game. And we're hoping we'll be in, and it's just out of our hands. That's why we just talked to the locker room about this. There was no hugs, and I told them to get the tears out of your eyes. Again, we have a really good resume. We would be number 2 or 4 in every other region in the country right now, 2 through 4, and we're currently at 7 right now. And we'll see what happens. So we're going to stay positive, and like I said, we've done our work. So.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes.
All right, Coach, gentlemen, best of luck.